Asanti, Bwana Spika.
Senator Nyutu, and please be precise to your question.
Yes, I will be, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for this opportunity. I just want to, before I ask my question, to notify the CS, that abductions are done by the police and not criminals. Criminals would ordinarily kidnap victims for monetary gain. So my question to the CS is, exactly, does it worry you, Honorable CS, when you find police officers in uniform, hooded, meaning they are hiding their faces, while arresting or doing whatever it is that they do, because they are always hooded? What is the place of hoods in the police force? Because, Mr. Speaker, a police officer, if they are doing things that are lawful, they should not be hooded. So my question is, why do officers continue operating while wearing hoods? Because that is when they perpetrate criminality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I really need your attention on this, because it seems like the previous speaker who has just left the seat of the chair, Mr. Speaker, did not get what the CS said. Mr. Speaker, on this issue of abduction, the CS expressly said that there is an ongoing element of self-abduction. In his response, there is an ongoing element of self-abduction by senior members of this society, including some serious positions that have been in this country, Mr. Speaker, in the past. Now, Mr. Speaker, you know, this is a very important issue, Mr. Speaker. You know very well that this House of Parliament, and as a serious issue as abductions that have been going on in the country, if there is an impairment of dealing with abduction because senior members of this society are doing self-abduction, and the CS comes to this House and expressly says so, he must substantiate, Mr. Speaker. He must give us fact of who are these senior members of the society that in his tone and texture he has indicated. Can he give us the name of these people who are doing self-abductions and making it difficult to deal with the issue of self-abduction in the country, Mr. Speaker? This is a House of Parliament. We cannot just let it go as if it was just a bypassing statement.
Thank you,
otherwise
Senator.
it becomes an impairment to justice.
Thank you for your question. Senator Veronica.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wanted, first of all, to seek that same clarification on the abduction, because I was of the view that Senator John Nyutu is misleading after the CS has confirmed that the term abduction is specific and technical and has defined what abduction entails, and that when a Kenyan is being arrested, is not being abducted. If they are being arrested by police, it's not an abduction. But since Senator Eddie has raised it, I will not repeat it. I'll ask Honorable CS to explain to us, or to just give us information on what his office is doing regarding Kenyans who are tricked into accepting jobs in Russia, and it turned out they were being taken to the battlefront between Ukraine and Russia, and among those was James Mushoki Mwangi, whom the family cannot trace and has no connection with.
Senator Veronica,
yes.
You're going way out of line. You should stick to the primary question. So, CS, please answer the supplementary questions, and then we'll go to the main questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A number of questions have been asked, but let me start by saying that the question of by Senator Mundiki on the police brutality in Everori in the Mbeere North, I must say that that was an unfortunate situation. Investigations are ongoing to establish exactly why. If Kenyans were having peaceful protests. How come and how did it end at a police station? And because we were told the protest was about health facilities, but instead the protesters apparently charged at the police officers within the police station. That is alleged. So investigation to establish whether the protest was peaceful, whether it targeted police station, and whether the police officers who used their firearm and which eventually killed 2 young people or 2 people, Mr. Speaker, whether it was a legitimate use of force or it was a misuse of firearm. Number 2 is that that investigation, to facilitate proper investigation, the Inspector General of Police, following the required procedures, has suspended those 2 officers. They are not in office as we speak, to allow proper investigations. Investigations also to ensure that the investigations are free, fair, and accountable. The Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, is seized of the matter, and they are carrying out the investigations. And I repeat my earlier statement that we are working hard to facilitate process of empowering the IPOA so that they can have enough resources and investigators to carry out investigation expeditiously. Ballistic analysis is ongoing, forensic analysis of the information that will enable us to deal with this issue with finality. I condole with the families of the 2 men who were killed and pray that they may find justice. And I promise as a cabinet secretary in this department that we'll do everything to facilitate processes of accountability within the police service. Senator Nyutu, I hasten to say that police officers are not in office to abduct people. Anybody who carries an abduction is a criminal. It doesn't matter whether he's a serving police officer or is in office or is a civilian or any other person. Any abductions that are done or enforced disappearance are illegal. Police officers are only allowed to arrest a citizen and produce them in court within 24 hours. Anything beyond 24 hours, again, is illegal because it's a violation of the Constitution. The Constitution requires that if you must hold a citizen beyond the 24 hours, it must be with the consent of the court. And so 24 hours is mandatory, and that is the right. Anything beyond that is unconstitutional. The hooding of police officers' uniform, includes hoods, are used in certain circumstances for operational reasons, especially when you need to protect the identity of the police officers when carrying out dangerous operations that deals with people like terrorists, sometimes bandits, sometimes gangs. Gangs are very targeting of police officers. And I am glad that the Senator appreciates that sometimes those gangs and criminals may be within demos or in public space or any places that can be, and the police officers are rightly to protect themselves and protect their identity so that they are not targeted by dangerous criminals after carrying out the responsibilities they do. But by law, once they do so, they arrest the person and they must produce them in court. You need to know that our police officers operating in serious areas like the border of Kenya and Somalia face dangers every day. And if you were to force them to be seen, or those who are operating in areas infested with bandits, are always facing dangerous criminals who are ready to revenge. And hooding and protecting our police officers is the responsibility of the National Police Service to provide the necessary uniform. On the question of Senator Okech, in terms of self-abductions, I don't think Senator Okech has just come from Mars. He's not a stranger in Jerusalem. He was in town when the Honorable Koimburi abducted himself, and then there was a man, and the impeached deputy president went public, went to the hospital, and then, you know, he was even lying to Kenyans that Koimburi cannot speak. You know, he was given chemicals and so forth. I am glad that the alleged victim then, Honorable Koimburi, has now laid bare that this was an act of drama, Mr. Speaker, that was only meant to win Kenyans. And up to now, the impeached Deputy President has never apologized to the people of Kenya. He continues his lies. He progresses. So he's looking for another drama to try to paint the government National Police Service in bad light. Mr. Speaker, the same happened to Honorable Tuju the other day, self-abducted, ran around. Only, Mr. Speaker, to be found, he was in his bedroom, relaxing and sleeping there. The former Deputy President, the former Vice President, who was leading the charge to paint the government negatively, up to now has not apologized, despite the fact that Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka is my personal friend. I found that was a very embarrassing situation he found himself in, being part and parcel of a script, Mr. Speaker, that is painting self-abductions. The last case, Mr. Speaker, involved a young man called Diagui Kinyanjui, who actually forced the DCI to be dragged to a police station, to the court. And I think it was Justice Mwita, now a Court of Appeal judge, who really berated the DCI and, you know, banged the tables. But, Mr. Speaker, when it was found finally that Diagui was just having his kideri, relaxing in his house, up to now, Justice Mwita has never apologized to the Inspector General of Police, the DCI, or the people of Kenya. So, Mr. Speaker, these three cases, among others, paint a very bad picture, because all of these three gentlemen I've mentioned are role models and leaders of their own right, but they are painting a very bad picture of the National Police Service, but also they are, Mr. Speaker, embarrassing and making fun of serious cases of disappearance, abductions, enforced disappearance, and the victims and the families feel really very sad that some people are acting skits and so forth on this particular issue. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. Senators, with your indulgence, because of time, we have several questions which have not been asked. What I propose we do is to